welcoming all the students of political science class 12th once again here. As you know, we were doing the third chapter of our book Contemporary World Politics, and we had finished our four parts, and today this is the fifth part I am doing. And the topic which we are taking today, the question arises, what does hegemony mean? So in the very first part, I told you the meaning of this hegemony. When we were starting the chapter, first of all, I told you the meaning of hegemony. Although in your book, this comes in around the fifth part of this chapter. But I told you in the very beginning so that it shall be easy for you to understand the topics. And in the last four parts, we were studying and we were trying to understand what was the role of UN during these years after 1991, that is the disintegration of USSR, when UN was the only sole power and the most superior in the whole world. How it was tackling with the different terrorist attacks and how it was influencing the world by its military power, by its technology. We have seen this in last four parts. It was always involved in some or the other activities around the world. It was always wanted to act and show how powerful and superior it was in the world arena. So here I'm just repeating it once again so that you will be able to understand now much better that what do you understand by hegemony and why we are relating hegemony word with US particularly. So first of all, just a simple meaning as I told you in the first part again. Leadership or dominance, these two words are very important in relation to hegemony if we are talking about US. Leadership or dominance, especially by one state over the other. As we know, US was showing its leadership or its dominance over the other we can say that other world, whole world. Leadership or dominance, especially by one state over others. This one state was US, and this other over others means the other countries. So we can say this hegemony means leadership or dominance, especially by one state over the other. So we can easily relate this hegemonic definition easily with US, as now US after disintegration of USSR was showing its leadership, dominance, importance, superiority all around the world in all the affairs. Whether we are talking about military, we are talking about economics, we are talking about trade, commerce, technology, everywhere. And the second definition is the position of being the strongest and the most powerful. Here, this position was achieved by US now after disintegration of USSR. It was the strongest and the most powerful. As reading, we have read the four parts of this particular chapter, and after reading all those four parts, we can say that now US had the strongest power, strongest position, and was most powerful, and therefore able to control others. That is why US was able to control and influence the whole world according to its wish. And finally, what is hegemony? Hegemony is an international system. It is an international system to dominate world by one superpower. This is a system where one superpower dominates the whole world in the form. In which forms? Military domination, number one, economic political chart, number two, and central superiority, which was enjoyed only by US. So this definition only suits US after disintegration of USS, as it was the only superpower. It has the best military domination. It has the best. It influenced the whole world economically and politically. It had the center superiority. All the world followed its culture and wanted to be like US after disintegration of Soviet Union. So these are the three I have written the definitions to make you understand what do you mean by hegemony, as you have already understood, and how hegemony word has been connected to US particularly after the disintegration of USSR. And in the past last four parts we read many incidents and terrorist attacks and confrontations which US led with other countries or other groups, and it showed its superiority anyhow. So here, after reading this definition, we are coming to this point. The topic here is US hegemony. So what is US hegemony? If we say, okay, US is the most superior, most powerful, it can influence the whole world, but in what format? What are the forms? So there are three forms or three arenas where US is showing its superiority or hegemony. First is hard power. US hegemony as a hard power. Under hard power, hegemony as structural power, and hegemony as US hegemony as soft power. So three powers we will be studying in this chapter: hegemony of US as hard power, US hegemony as structural power, US hegemony as soft power. So under hard power, what will be studying? Military status of America. Under hard power, we will study the military status of US and how it influenced the whole world with the power and superiority of its military capabilities. Second is structural power. In this, we will study economic prospects. How and what are the contribution of US in the economy of the world. And the last will be soft power. In this, we will study the ideological cultural spheres. Ideological, we can understand India, US was following the ideology of capitalism, and what was the system of capitalism run under US, and what was the culture of US, and how they were influencing the whole world. That is why we are taking it under US hegemony as soft power. So here, talking of US hegemony, so I have told you three different stages of US hegemony. First we will be studying hard power, second we will be studying structural power, and third we will be studying soft power. So we have divided into three categories US hegemony. So first one is US hegemony as a hard power. So what do we understand by US hegemony as a hard power? Here, US alone spends, so we'll study mainly, I told you about the military status of US. The US alone spends more on its military capabilities. US spends a lot of money on its military, as we know, and we have seen in the last 3 or 4 parts that how it was dominating the world in its military equipments and how technologically advanced its military was. Then the next 12 countries. Alone, US spends as much as money on its army is equivalent to next 12 countries. These 12 countries including the amount which US alone spends on its military capabilities combined. US military dominance is based on their higher expenditure on military as well as on technology. US military dominance is just because it has lot of expenditure on its military and technological gap, which we saw in the last parts. A large chunk of Pentagon US Defense Department budget goes on military research. Lot of money of US Defense Department goes on military research and development. They are not dependent on any other superpower or any other countries for their military equipments. They make their own military research and development. That is why they are so advanced. So they have to put a lot of chunk of their budget in these development activities. So this is called the hegemony as hard power, as we have seen in many wars and many confrontations with the terrorist groups where US Army has shown its capabilities and its technological advancements in the various eras. Now coming up to the second one. Now coming up to the second category, hegemony of US as a structural power. So what do you mean by structural power? I told you it is all related to economy. US is playing a lead role in providing public goods. Now, US hegemony as a structural power in means of economy is shown through public goods. US is providing all the public goods to all the countries. Here are few examples. So, what are the examples of public goods which we can see all here? SLOC, sea lanes of communication. SLOCs are commonly used by the merchant ships. The merchant ships which move in the sea lanes for their trade and commerce use these SLOCs which are controlled by US. That is why it's written here. SLOCs are the common used by the merchant ships. US naval power underwrites the laws of the sea. Here US naval power underwrites, make the laws and regulations of these sea lanes and gives the freedom of navigation in international water. Here US is managing all these merchant ships and these communication system in the water and navigation. Here all the rules and regulations are controlled and made by US naval power. And the last, free trade is open world economy. As there is an open world economy now, so free trade is there, would not be possible without open. If there were no open SLOCs which are controlled by US, the free trade would have not been open in today's world economy, open world economy. So these are the contributions of US as a structural power which are adding to the economy of US as well as of other countries, managing the trade and commerce of different countries through SLOCs. So this was the first one under structure power A. And what are the other contributions of US as a structure power which is adding to the economy is GPS system. A GPS system we must have seen in our mobiles. These global positioning system, it is a satellite based radio. This global positioning system, it is a satellite based radio navigation system owned by United States. Previously it was just owned and controlled by United States, this global positioning system, and operated by US. And who operated this? US Air Forces. And US can deny its access, but US can deny its access at any point of time to any country, because this was controlled by only US government and with the help of US Air Forces. But this happened with India in the war in 1999, Kargil war against India Pakistan. US government denied access to Indian military and Indian faced lot of hardship. Indian military was not given access of this global positioning system, because of which Indian army or military had to face lot of problems, as a result of which India developed its own GPS system. So after during this war, India developed its own GPS system because it was having a lot of problem without global positioning system for its military access. But there are many developing countries or underdeveloped countries which are totally dependent of US for its this particular GPS system. So we can say US was supporting these sea lanes of communication, which was very important for the economy, as well as this global positioning system, which plays a very important role in today's world. So other contributions of US hegemony as a structure power were, as internet was also the invention of US for the military operation. This internet is also the discovery of US, especially for its military operations. Here are a few more points that how it is a structural hegemony. US has an economy shares in world economy 28%. Total share of economy in the world economy is of US, that is 28%. US also accounts for 15% of the world trade, total trade of the world, and 15% is only of US all over the world. US started its first MBA course. First MBA course in USA was started in 1900. That is professionally when a people start studying how to manage a particular business. This was started in 1900, and in the other parts of the world it started 50 years later. That is 1950. So these points, along with the previous points here, as SLOCs, sea lanes of communication, and GPS system, all these points add to the structure power of hegemonic power of US, which adds to the which is in relation to the economy of US. So next we'll be taking the hegemony as the soft power. So here talking about the soft power of US hegemony. Here soft power means the whole world was influenced by the lifestyle, by the ideology, by the culture, by the life of US people. They wanted to follow the society and the type of life they were living in. So in relation to that, I have written few points. Read it. US hegemony was present not only on military and economic front but also on ideology front. So if you are talking about US hegemony, it was not only limited to military and economy, which we had written as hard power, and economy as structure power, but in fact as a soft power it was also influencing the whole world ideologically. So US protects its society and culture as the best in the world. US was showing that its society, its culture, its ideology, and the lifestyle of the people living in US societies was the best in the world. So we can say that army military was very advanced. It was very strong economically, but people wanted to follow the American societies anyhow. They were very much influenced by the culture, by the lifestyle of the American people. They wanted to follow the Western world. American society's culture became the definition of good life. If people talked about good life, they said they wanted to be like American society, prosperity and success for the most of the societies. They wanted, if their society can be good or the people can be successful, they can have a good lifestyle, good life, it should be like American society. across the world globe. It was influencing the whole world, every developing country, developed countries, underworld countries, underdeveloped countries. Everyone wanted to be a part of American societies. They wanted to follow their categories. Pick up any item in the market in the world, and you would find the presence of popular US brand. If you go to the market, whether eatables or clothes, or we talk of technology, you will find some of the famous brands of US which people prefer to buy. Some beverages or the technology, US hegemony is present all across the globe. So we can say all across the globe, if we go and check, people want to follow and the lifestyle of America. Their societies have been very much popular all around. As we see, we wear jeans and we lifestyle like it's of American style. If we like talk about eatables, we have pizzas and these burgers. These are the outcome of these American societies. So here we come to the end of these three hegemonic power. You must remember them properly. They are categorized into three parts: US hegemony power shown according to its hard power, structural power, and soft power. So these parts will be very important, and question of 4 or 5 marks must be coming from this topic. Till then, thank you.